in June 1940, on June 14th, they issued first a ultimatum to Lithuania, 2 days later to Latvia and Estonia, stating that these military bases were not enough. They had launched some border raids against the border control stations of those states, and they had claimed, as they always do, that there were provocations from the other side. Initially, they, especially the Lithuanians, with President Antanas Semona, he wanted to fight. However, the military around him did not. So he quickly escaped, first to Germany, later on to the UK and the US. But so finally, that full-on invasion happened of the 3 Baltic states. They did not fight back. They realized that they were not in a position to do it, and very quickly there were new elections held in the Baltic states. Practically all the candidates were chosen from a one-party list, being the Communist Party. And after these new assemblies had been created, those assemblies voted voluntarily, naturally, for having their states annexed into the Soviet Union, becoming Soviet republics. Apart from that, in mid-June, at the end of June, you have another ultimatum issued against Romania. This was part of it. Bessarabia, meaning what is Moldova today. It was encompassed by the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact, signed in August 1939 by the Soviet Union and Nazi Germany in the lead up to the invasion of Poland. So the Germans knew that the Soviets demanded Bessarabia as their sphere of influence, meaning that they could invade it at will. But they had not expected northern Bukovina, a part which is today, at that point it was a part of Romania. Today it is a border area belonging to Ukraine, but which borders with Romania. That area was not something that the Germans had been told about, that the Soviet Union would have claims to that area. And they were quite surprised. So it was, you could say, a first little issue in Soviet-German relations. There was also a quite sizable German minority living both in Bessarabia and in northern Bukovina, and the Germans were worried about the well-being of their ethnic compatriots. However, after the German invasion of Poland, the Soviet Union and Germany had kept up their very close relations, especially when it came to economic cooperation. There were several parts, but you could say that the main geist of it was that the Soviet Union provided Germany with enormous quantities of food products, of natural resources, everything from oil to phosphorus, while on the other hand you had Germany sending advanced machinery and especially weapons to the Soviet Union. The Soviet Union was supposed to receive the most modern military aircraft, various modern howitzers and guns. But the Germans were always trying to slow down the pace on those deliveries. They didn't really live up to their end of the agreement.
No, because the Germans, of course, Hitler had always been planning to invade the Soviet Union, had discussed this with his generals. Very early on, in fact, it wasn't a surprise to the Germans that they invaded.
No, absolutely not. The first serious discussions about such an invasion took place in the summer of 1940, so more than a year before the actual invasion took place. And Hitler issued an order in the spring of 1940 to start preparing for an invasion of the Soviet Union, which probably would have happened in early May or so if things went according to plan. But instead, the Italians decided to invade Albania and Greece. And when it turned out that the Italian ally of Adolf Hitler completely failed in those endeavors, the Germans had to come in and save the day and help the Italians out.
When you look at this, of course, you see the alliance of Mussolini to Hitler has been really, from Hitler's point of view, complete liability. Mussolini may have expressed a certain amount of enthusiasm, but his armed forces were completely useless.
Yes,
at the task set for them. Good they were, I suppose, the people against whom they were fighting. But.
Yes, this is one of those what-if moments of the war. If the German invasion of the Soviet Union, instead of happening on June 22nd, as it did happen, if it would have happened as according to plan, so maybe some late April, early May, then they would have probably stood those 20 kilometers or so outside of Moscow, not in November when winter was about to start, but maybe in September 1941.
Yeah, Adam, the clock in the corner of the studio is blinking at us. I'm afraid we have to bring that episode to a close, but fear not, we'll pick up the story next time. There we are. As usual, we've been defeated by the clock, but fear not, if you join us next time, as we hope you will, we will continue the story here on Poland Daily History. In the meantime, thank you for watching.